Evaluate 2 times 0 plus 1 times 4. 2 times 0 is 0. 1 times 4 is 4. And therefore that is 4. Let T be TNYWR. Now, TNYWR is an acronym for the number you will receive. And in these math contests, what it really means is the answer to the previous part. So the answer to the previous part. And if you remember the previous part, I had an answer of 4. So that means T is equal to 4. The average of the list of numbers is m. The average of this list of 4 numbers is n. What is the value of m minus n? Okay, so you guys know how to figure out the average of a set of numbers. You just add them, and then you divide by how many numbers there are. And in this case, there are 5 numbers. And they're saying that is equal to m. When you crunch out these numbers, you'll get m equal to 13. And then the average of these 4 numbers is n. So 16 plus t plus 3 plus 13 divided by 4 is n, and therefore we are going to substitute t equals 4 because that is what t is, and that would give me n equal to 9. And then finally they want m minus n, so m minus n would be 13 minus 9, which is 4. Let t be the number you will receive. The lines with the equations y equals 12, y equals 2x plus t intersect at the point AB. What is the value of a? So t is the answer to the previous part, which was 4. So now we've got 2 lines. Let's just make them on this coordinate grid. We have y equals 12, which is this. And we have y is equal to 2x plus t. But t is equal to 4. So we're just going to plot this now. Well, when x is 0, y will be 4. And when x is, when y is 12, it looks like x is 4, I think. So about here approximately. So this is the other line. So they want this point. And that's not a problem. We just let them equal to each other. So we have 2 equations. Y equals 12 and y equals 2x plus 4, so set them equal to each other. And when you do, you get 8 is equal to 2x, and therefore x is equal to 4. And this point will have the coordinates a, b, and that is equal to 4, 12. And what they're looking for is the value of a, so a is equal to 4. Evaluate 1/2 times all this stuff. 1/2, and then you have to invert and multiply. So it would be 1 over 1 times 9 over 1 plus 1 over 1 times 6 over 1 plus, oh, sorry, that's a minus. Minus 1 over 1 times 5 over 1, like that. So this is going to be 1/2, 9 plus 6 minus 5. And that's, that looks to me like 15 minus 5, which is 10. So 10 times 1/2, which is 5. Let t be TNYR, and we figured out that t is 5 because it's the answer to the previous part. And then we have determine the positive integer x that satisfies that. So 2 to the ratio of m to the ratio of t is equal to m to the ratio of 32 to the ratio of x. Okay, so let's just concentrate on those guys. That means that 2 over m is equal to m over 32. So that means if you cross multiply, m squared would be 64, so m would be 8. And then we can use those guys. So m over t would be the same as 32 over x. Now m we just figured out is 8. T we know is 5 from the previous question. So that means we can figure this out. 8x would be 5 times 32. So x would be 5 times 4, and therefore x is 20. Let t be TNYR, so in this case t is going to be 20, the answer to the previous part. In the diagram, C is on AE, AB is equal to BC equal to CD. If CDE is t degrees, DEC is 2t degrees, and BCA and BCD are x degrees, determine the value of ABC. Okay, so this is angle chasing here. Well, this t and that 2t, we know t is 20, so that's 20 and that's 40. So that angle would be 180 minus 20 minus 40, and that's 120. So that is 120, like that. And then these two guys plus that 120, so x plus that 120 would add up to 180. So that means 2x is equal to 60, and therefore x is 30. But I think they want something else. They want ABC, right? So they want this angle. Well, since it's isosceles, this is also x. So this is 30, that's 30. So angle ABC plus 30 would be 180. And therefore angle ABC is going to be 120. Suppose that a and b are positive integers with 2 to the power of a times 3 to the power of b is 324. Evaluate 2 to the power of b times 3 to the power of a. So 324, break it up into its prime factors, and it's 2 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of 4. So if that is 2 to the power of a times 3 to the power of b, that we can easily figure out that a is 2 and b is 4. So then this guy shouldn't be a problem. 2 to the power of b times 3 to the power of a. 2 to the power of b will be as 4. 3 to the power of a, that's 2. So 2 to the power of 4 is 16, and that's 9, and therefore that's 144. Okay, so T is the answer to the previous question, which is 144. So here we go. 3 siblings share a box of chocolates that contains T pieces. Sarah eats 1/3 of the total number of chocolates, and Andrew eats 3/8 of the total number of chocolates. Cecily eats the remaining chocolates in the box. How many more chocolates does Sarah eat than Cecily? Okay, so 144 is the total. 1/3 is what Sarah eats. So Sarah eats 1/3 of 144, which I believe is 48. So that's how much Sarah consumes. And then 3/8 Andrew, and 3/8 of 144 is 54. So that's Andrew. And then the remaining, so 144 minus 48 minus 54, which is 42, is Cecily. So they're asking, how many more chocolates does Sarah eat than Cecily? Or are you going to compare 48 to 42, and that looks to me like 6 more chocolates. T is, in this case, 6, because it's the answer to the previous question. In the diagram, the vertices ABCD lie on the circle. Diagonal AC is the diameter. It has length T. If CD is twice AD, find the area of the shaded region. Well, the area of the shaded region looks to me like pi r squared, whatever the radius is, minus the area of that rectangle, which looks like length times width. But in this case, the length and width can be written as CD times AD. Right? Yeah. So let's just give them some values. AD, if AD is x, then CD would be 2x, because CD is equal to 2AD. And T is 6, we know that. And T represents AC, which is the diameter. So if the diameter is 6, that means the radius would be 3. So this is pi 3 squared. And this will be x times 2x. Okay, now, okay, I got to use Pythagoras to figure out x. I got it. So x squared plus 2x squared is equal to t squared, but t is 6. Okay, I understand. I was thinking that there was some information missing, but there isn't. So x squared plus 4x squared is 36. So that means 5x squared is 36. So that means x squared is 36 over 5. So x would be 6. Let's just keep it as x squared, because I think there's going to be an x squared there. So this is 9 pi minus 2x squared. And then we can substitute that x squared, 36 over 5. And that's going to be 9 pi minus 72 over 5. And I think that's what they wanted. They wanted it in this form. So there you go. 9 pi minus 72 over 5. What is the greatest common divisor of the three integers 36, 45, and 495? So we want the GCD of 36, 45, and 495. So in GCD questions, greatest common divisor questions, you think smallest, interestingly. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So the first thing you do in these questions, you break these numbers up into their prime factors. So 36 is 2 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of 2. 45 is 3 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 1. 495 is 3 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 1 times 11 to the power of 1. Okay, then what you do is you list all the prime numbers. So list all the prime numbers that we see. Well, I've got 2, I've got 3, 5, and 11. I think those are the only primes. And then you think smallest. You, for each of those primes, use the smallest exponent. So for 2, the exponent here is 2. There is no 2 here. It's kind of like 2 to the power of 0. And similarly, there is no 2 to the power of 0. So the smallest is 2 to the power of 0. You see what I mean? That's why I say think smallest. For 3, we got a 2 here, we got a 2 here, we got a 2 here. So the smallest is 2, since they're all 2's. For 5, there is no 5, so it's kind of like 5 to the power of 0. This is 5 to the power of 1, 5 to the power of 1. So 5 to the power of 0 is the smallest. And for 11, by the same kind of principle, 0 is the smallest. So this really just boils down to 9. And 9 is the answer to this question. Let T be TNY WR. So the answer to the previous question is 9, so that's T. In the diagram, all line segments meet at right angles. If the perimeter of the given shape is 162, what is the value of K? So we just add up all the K's and the T's. And when you do, you get 9K plus 12T. And that's all that is. Add up all the K's, add up all the T's. Essentially, you're trying to get the perimeter. And they're telling you that's 162. Okay, so shouldn't be a problem. So 12 TT is 9. And that's it. That's the basic algebra. When you solve for this, you'll get K equal to 6. T is the answer to the previous question, so that's 6. The expression Tx plus 3 all to the power of 3 can be rewritten in the form ax to the power of 3 plus bx squared plus cx plus d for some positive integers a, b, c, d. Determine the value of the largest of a, b, c, d. Tx, so t is 6, right? So 6x plus 3 all to the power of 3. So basically that 3 times. Now when you expand it all out, I'll let you expand it all out, right? I'm sure you can expand it all out. I don't need to walk you through it. It'll be 216x to the power of 3 plus 324x squared plus 162x plus 27. So that's A, that's B, that's C, that's D, and the largest of those is the 324.